Breaking news: Hyundai's luxury brand Genesis is set to enter the WEC and IMSA, and will therefore compete in the categories of hypercar and GTP. This news also means that Genesis intends to compete at the iconic 24 Hours of Le Mans, as well as other prestigious venues. So in this video, I will break down this major news, as Hyundai and Genesis commit to joining the WEC and IMSA, and will also compete in the pinnacle of prototype endurance racing for the very first time. Another resourceful manufacturer has announced a program with these new regulations, and this news means that Genesis will become the 14th different manufacturer to enter either an LMH or an LMDh prototype. The prospect of Hyundai confirming an entrance has been rumored for quite some time, and they were speculated to become the next brand to commit to the regulations, with an imminent announcement expected. And now the news has finally broken. Genesis will become the first ever manufacturer from South Korea to enter prototype endurance racing and compete for overall victory at the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans, as well as the Rolex 24 at Daytona and the 12 Hours of Sebring. The news officially broke on Thursday, September 12th, when Hyundai Motorsports and Genesis revealed intentions to enter endurance racing, swiftly followed by statements from both organizations of the WEC and IMSA, as well as other reliable sources. The statement read, "Genesis is proud to announce its ambitious entry into the world of endurance racing through the LMDh program. Genesis is actively exploring programs to strengthen its high-performance image, and after a thorough evaluation of various options, LMDh emerged as the most strategic choice for us at this time." So why has Hyundai chosen now to enter prototype endurance racing? And what are the details of the car that would be competing? Well, like so many brands before, Hyundai, who's the third biggest car manufacturer in the world, has had major interest in the new regulations of LMH and LMDh, which replaced the LMP1 and DPI rule sets in 2021 and 2023 respectively. Hyundai has been interested in these regulations since the beginning, despite having no prior experience in this motorsport field. The South Korean car brand chose not to join initially. However, when the LMH and LMDh regulations were extended till at least 2029, that piqued the interest of more brands, which included Hyundai, which further proves why these new regulations are providing a new golden age in prototype endurance racing for the WEC and IMSA. Hyundai has chosen to enter the championships under the Genesis branding, and Genesis is Hyundai's luxury and performance company, which was established as its own brand in 2015. Genesis has confirmed that their entries will be based around the Le Mans Daytona H regulations. The brand has chosen LMDh rather than LMH, therefore becoming the 7th manufacturer to build around the LMDh rule set, alongside Porsche, Acura, Cadillac, BMW, Alpine, and finally Lamborghini, who are all competing in motorsport with their cars. Because it's an LMDh, Genesis will need to pick a chassis supplier, and it's very likely that they will be working with French company Oreca, which also builds the chassis for the cars from Alpine and Acura, as well as the very successful LMP2 car known as the Oreca 07. The car is also rumored to be using an engine from Pipo Motors, which are the same company who supplied engines to Glickenhaus in the WEC. For the debut, we know for certain that it won't be next year in 2025, but a potential 2026 debut seems more likely for the Genesis LMDh, and if it were to join in 2026, the car would likely start its journey in both the WEC and IMSA simultaneously, meaning that the car would probably make its competitive debut at the 2026 Rolex 24 at Daytona in IMSA. As of right now, there is no official confirmation on who will operate the LMDh cars. However, two options have emerged. It's very possible that Hyundai's Motorsport base in Germany could run the cars at least in the World Endurance Championship and at Le Mans. Another team that has been heavily linked with running the Genesis LMDh cars is Chip Ganassi Racing. The American squad will split from Cadillac at the end of 2024, and a deal with Hyundai and Genesis seems to be the most promising solution if CGR were to continue in top-level endurance racing. At least for IMSA, in 2025, it's likely that CGR will switch to LMP2, but for the following year in 2026, it's very possible that they land a deal with Hyundai and Genesis to run their LMDh cars. It's also very possible that both of these organizations will run the Genesis cars, with one operation over in the WEC and one over in IMSA, instead of just one team running both operations. Kinda like how Team WRT runs the BMW M Hybrid V8s in the WEC, while Team RLL runs them in IMSA. Now, to be clear, Hyundai, or rather Genesis, has never competed in prototype endurance racing before, but they have big ambitions to enter this new journey of theirs. Hyundai hasn't competed in the WEC or Le Mans either. However, they have in fact raced in IMSA. Hyundai currently competes in IMSA's support series, the Michelin Pilot Challenge, with a car called the Hyundai Elantra N, with 7 cars currently competing in that championship. But of course, jumping into the main series into the GTP class will be a very big switch. They also have a presence in the World Rally Championship, where they secured the championship title in both 2019 and 2020. When it comes to motorsport, rally has been a big interest for the South Korean company, and now endurance racing is Hyundai's next installment when it comes to motorsport. Folks, we truly are in the next golden age of prototype endurance racing, as Hyundai intends to enter the WEC and IMSA with the Genesis branding, and there will indeed be a Genesis LMDh prototype on the grid competing at events like the 24 Hours of Le Mans. What do you think of this major news? And are you excited to see Genesis enter the hypercar and GTP categories? Well, as always, make sure to let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching. For more content on endurance racing such as the WEC and IMSA, consider subscribing if you haven't already. On screen, you'll find some suggested videos to watch next. For now though, that's it for me. You'll hear from me next in the following video.